Hi, this is another video response. This time is about Fazah. It was pretty interesting. After I watched the video that Moses put on YouTube, I went to see the video that was made with Ziad Fazah at the Chilean TV show. And some of those videos were titled An Epic Fail. The other one was Ziad Fazah Polyglot Doesn't Understand. And there was one that even had a comment that said, with much luck, he speaks one language. There's only one thing to say about that interview: it was a trap. It was set up for failure. Um, Most people, they they don't look at how far you've come, but how far you are from perfection. If you say you know a little Hungarian or Ukrainian, they will automatically ask you to quote, I don't know, Dostoievski, just to know how much you know, instead of asking, so how much you learned, can you read, what are your skills on that? And that's pretty sad. I don't know if it comes from jealousy because they're not able to do that, or if it comes from the intention of humiliate a person. I remember once I was about, I don't know, maybe 16, 15, 16 years old, and I was pretty happy that I was studying Hebrew and I could read a couple words and I learned a couple words, and I was sharing that with a family member. And when I said that I knew some Hebrew, the person turned to me and said, "Okay, so how do you say plier in Hebrew?" And I was like, "What? What does that come from? How can you expect a person that is learning a language to know a very specialized vocab word? And sometimes that's really um, humiliating. Like you're putting some efforts on learning something. It is really hard. It's really tedious, hard work, and people make questions to make you feel like you're failing, that you haven't done enough. You know, I think I agree with Moses when he says that Ziad put himself on that position because he claimed to have divine talent. Well, on my personal opinion, I believe in talents. People have different talents in different areas. But if you start telling people that you do have a divine talent, people will start thinking that you're just being cocky about it, you know, and people generally don't accept that very well. Um, but on the other hand, if in one hand you're being cocky, if you say you have a talent that you are the best at something, on the other hand, the more humble you are, um, less persecution you're going to have. You know, if you try to learn and you help people learn and you share your knowledge without claiming that you are the best thing on the planet, people look up to you as, okay, hey, he's slowly progressing. He was able to do it. Maybe I can do it too. Why not try to reach the same level? Um, Another thing that we gotta understand about Ziad Fazah is that the more languages you study, less time you have to polish your accent. And also, the older you are, it harder it is to get over phonological habits. And by saying phonological habits, I mean, for example, um, in Portuguese, it is hard for us to pronounce ths together in English, like th or the sounds. So we have a tendency to pronounce it a t instead of a the. So the, which was supposed to be the, it ends up becoming either the or the. That was that is generally how we pronounce it. So the older you are, harder it is to get over those phonological barriers, which makes you have a heavier accent and things like that. Um, and another thing that was really interesting to see was how each person during that interview was behaving. For example, the gentleman that was speaking Persian, he was very prideful. He was in a very proud position of speaking the language, of defending his language. He even sang uh, the Iranian national anthem, which again, it's pretty cool being patriotic, but he was using that as a tool to humiliate Ziad Fazah, and that is not right. You know, people must be praised for their achievements and not criticized for the steps they haven't been able to make so far. Um, so here's my opinion about him. He deserves praise for his efforts and accomplishments, like all language learners. You know, all of us are trying to accomplish something most people don't even care about. So he deserves some recognition. Okay, doesn't matter if he has an accent. Doesn't matter if he reads an ein as a. It doesn't matter if he doesn't roll his R's. At least he's putting some efforts. I bet less than 10% of those people that were there during that interview speak more than two languages, being their native language and Spanish, because they were in Chile. I doubt it. And he was able to understand at least part of what was being spoken. And he was able to speak in a semi fluent way, or it sounded pretty fluent, especially his Arabic. And still, he was criticized by which dialect he was using, or how he pronounced something, or how he read something. Come on, people, let's give him a break. You know, none of us are perfect. You know, not even people that are native in a language will speak that language perfectly. So we gotta respect people's abilities and praise them for what they've done so far, especially the hyperglots, people that are really passionate about languages, people that really study every day many different types of languages. We must be the first to support and to give encouragement to people to learn languages. Doesn't matter if it's one or 20, we gotta be there for them and help them out. It doesn't matter if your skills in speaking or if your skills in reading or writing is still a skill. If you know more than a person, it's your obligation to share that knowledge. If you don't have anything good to say, don't say anything at all. Okay, so this is my opinion. If you guys have any comments or would like to disagree with anything that I said, feel free to post a comment or a video response, and I see you next time. Okay.